Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are here at One Gen Gym in Claremont, California with El Campeon. Thank you so much for joining us again. And we are going to tackle how to deadlift.
Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Estoy aquí con mi amigo Larry, con todos ustedes. Y pues vamos a trabajar aquí con mi amigo Larry. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, perfect. I'm ready as well. So deadlift is my favorite lift. It's because I can lift the most doing deadlifts over any other lift. And I'm going to take you guys step by step on how to do it safely and how to get the most out of it with proper technique. So a good deadlift always starts with no shoes, especially these high heels that are the 9060s from New Balance. Okay? So, first step is stepping up to the bar, shoulder width, right? So for me, and for everybody this is going to be different, I go right here with the middle of my foot and this line here at the beginning of the knurling with the bar.
Okay.
Right? So I set myself up using this line right here. I know, okay, I see this line, my foot needs to be right in the middle of it. Okay? And the knurling and the lines in the bar are your best friend because it allows you to get the same setup every single time, every set.
Okay.
And just like with squats, we're going to hinge at the hips to start the movement. So pushing the butt all the way back, right? This is about as far back as my butt can go. Then I bend the knees just slightly, just enough to grab the bar, and then hips forward, okay? And it's easy to overcomplicate things, but what simplified it for me is thinking about the deadlift and the squat as a hip hinge. To start, hips back, can't go back anymore, bend the knee so I can grab the bar, hips forward. Everything comes together. And when you're setting the bar down, it's also very important to hinge the same way you started the movement, right? Because that sets you up for your next rep, right? So, hips back, bend a bit just to grab the bar, hips forward, and then hips back again to reset. And that means every single rep, you're starting from an optimal position.
Okay. Permítame, campeón. Déjame. Quito todo.
Steel toe boots coming off?
Sí, los voy a quitar. Ok. Ok, esto tiene que ir así. Así el amigo Larry, right here.
Let's see, for you. A little more close. Yeah.
Right here is fine.
That's good. Yeah. And hold on. Arms a bit closer. The legs are good, but the arms a bit more close.
Right here is fine.
And yeah, that looks good. Okay.
Ok. ¿Y para mirar así o así para arriba?
Straight down, and your neck stays just like with the squat. Your neck stays neutral, and you keep your eyes on the same spot on the floor. So the head doesn't move at all.
Okay.
It just stays in the same spot.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Go. Yes. Good. Okay. That's good. Let's stop there. Perfect. Let's stop there. So I didn't say it yet, but El Campeon actually, without me having to say anything, stood at the perfect distance from the bar. And it rolled just now, so let me get to stay still. You want this line to be in the middle of your foot, well,
Okay,
for me, to guide you, and you want it horizontally to be in the middle of your foot, right? So you have the same setup every time. Now, I like to go right in the middle. If I go a little bit too close, what happens is when I bend down, it pushes the bar forward. So it ends up in the middle of my foot anyways, right? So if you guys start here with the bar already against your shins, what happens is when you hip hinge and you go to grab the bar, see how it rolls forward? So you're better off starting with it in the middle. You don't want to kick the bar out when you get into position.
Okay.
Yes.
Ready, amigo? Ready?
Yes, perfect.
Tú me dices, ready?
Yes, go. Yes, good. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Beautiful.
See?
You know, this was the easiest to teach of all three lifts. Out of the squat, bench, and deadlift, this was the easiest to teach El Campeon. He got it straight away. I didn't even have to mention keeping the arms straight. So when it gets heavier, it's an instinct to want to pull the bar using our arms. But if you do that, it's just a matter of when, not if, your bicep tears. So El Campeon has gotten this lift textbook straight away. But now I want to demonstrate common mistakes I see with those struggling to learn the deadlift. And a lot of this boils down to improper learning of the cues. And by cues, I mean, for example, hinging from the hips. If you think about the deadlift as a leg press or pushing the earth away from you, right? And using your leg to do most of the work, this is how it will look. Your knees are gonna lock first, right? And then now all this weight's on your lower back. And you have to finish it just with hammies, glutes, and back, right? Everything is not in unison, right? So it's gonna be harder to lift it with that cue.
Porque yo así lo he hecho siempre así como dice el mal. Ahorita pues ya lo estoy perfeccionando.
He says he used to do it like you just did it right now.
Yo lo levantaba, el chiste era levantarlo.
He said he didn't care. He just wanted to lift it.
Pero ahorita ya es perfect, ya más, anything más.
It's engraved in them.
So did he know the hip hinge cue from before, or did he learn it just now?
No.
See? I like that cue because it brings everything together automatically. You don't have to worry about, okay, my legs and now my back and keep my arms locked. Everything works together when you think about hip hinge, right? It simplifies the movement because the last thing you want to do is be overthinking the lift and the execution. So another common way to do it improperly is by lifting with your back, right? And this is how that looks. Right? Doing that, using that cue, I wasn't using my hips, I wasn't using my legs, I was all back. And I think you guys could tell with how ugly it looked. And that is how you get hurt deadlifting.
Una preguntita. ¿No le dices a mi amigo Larry si por lo regular usan de estas? Perdone, permítame. ¿Dónde está?
Oh,
Puede
straps.
ser esta. ¿Dónde está? O de estas.
Are those PR straps? They look like PR
O más
straps.
better sin nada. Oh.
So, I like to recommend straps when your grip is failing you. Maybe you've torn a callus, maybe you have short stubby fingers, you don't have chalk, but using straps reduces your explosivity on the deadlift, and it's also not legal in competition. So in El Campion's case, we can't use straps entering this competition. We can use wraps, we can use wrist straps, belt, but we can't use straps, right?
Ok, las puras manos, ok.
And I want to go over one more thing that is what leads to most injuries in the deadlift. So even assuming you're doing everything right, arms are locked, you're hinging from the hips, your head is neutral, eyes on the floor, your core is engaged and braced. If you're bouncing, doing touch and go reps, and trying to rely on the momentum from the rubber mats on the floor to help you get those first few inches off the ground, what happens is your muscle can overstretch, and that's what leads to tears. When you come to a complete dead stop, it allows you to stay in an optimal position, a safe position, reducing the chances of injury.
Ok.
And this principle applies for any lift, squat, bench, deadlift. If you're even doing heavy movements with leg press or plate loaded machines in the gym, literally anything, if you want to reduce your chance of injury to a minimum, come to a dead stop. It doesn't mean you can't get hurt, but it just reduces the likelihood of it happening significantly. So, a dead stop rep looks just like this. Hinge at the hips, hinge again to set it down, let the bar come to a complete dead stop, and then pull, right? We don't wanna, right? Because doing that is how the muscle can overstretch. And when it overstretches, it tears.
Ok. Ok.
Let's got a couple more reps in. Oh, and I'll explain one more thing and then I'll let him get that in. So a major advantage to going mixed grip with deadlifts over straps is you get to spend minimal time under tension before you lift. Every second you spend hunched over the bar, you're exerting energy just sitting here. Think about how long you could even sit here for. A couple minutes. You sit here for 30 seconds, your lower back's already pumped, your hamstrings are screaming, right? And then you're trying to lift a 1 rep max. You want to get your air in your diaphragm and brace at the top and pick up the bar as quickly as possible under control, so you're spending minimal time under tension, maximizing how much strength you have.
Ok.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Perfect. That's good. Okay. So there's one thing I noticed is before he pulls, he's using a bit of his back to start the movement, right? But we want to get the explosivity in the lift from the hips, not from our back, right? And you're using your back, you're using your legs, you're using everything. It's just when you think about everything coming from the hips, it all ties in together without you having to think about each body part individually, right? It just all happens automatically, right? So instead of, right, doing this, it's just from the hips, right? If you guys can tell, I can be explosive without doing that, without moving my back, without moving anything, right? And you'll feel more explosive if you breathe in and brace at the top and spend minimal time at the bottom, right? Every second you spend down there overthinking what you're about to do, I might get hurt, I might not get it. All you should be thinking about before you lift is execution, doing it properly. It will take a few weeks for it to feel comfortable, but once it does, he's gonna prefer deadlifting without wrist straps. I personally don't like using them because it removes that explosivity I get, because I have to sit down there and put the strap on. That takes like 10, 15 seconds and my back is already getting fatigued, and I don't have that pop off the floor like I do when I deadlift mixed grip. So if he's patient and gives it a couple weeks with mixed grip, he'll be able in the future, after getting comfortable with it, to be able to lift, if not the same, maybe even more than he can with straps.
Cuando haga lo que me está enseñando ahorita, no voy a usar eso, pero en mis otros ejercicios, pues sí, para ir mientras.
Okay, that's okay.
Para ir aprendiendo.
That's perfect.
Okay, again, de nuevo.
Yeah, let's do one more. Why not?
Voy a hacer de cuenta que ya tengo everything de full.
Yes,
Tengo mis,
that's the goal.
sí.
9 plates. Yes. Perfect. And I'm gonna stop him when he reached full lockout. Yes, right there. Yeah, that's perfect. Good. Textbook. Beautiful. All right, well done. All right, we're on our way now. We're on our way. We got to the basics. Very good. That's great. I mean, I taught him today in other videos, squat, bench, now deadlift, the 3 different barbells for squat, bench, and deadlift, and he's a fast learner. So I actually am really excited to see what he's capable of in a competition.
Primeramente Dios, amigo Larry.
Yes, sir. So with that said, please stay tuned, because there will be much more from El Campeon and I leading up to the fated competition day. And I'm super happy to be a part of his journey. And it's giving me that itch. I feel like getting back into competition myself again. It's been years, but the itch is there now. I'm not making any promises, but it could happen if I spend enough time with this guy. With that said, please follow El Campeon. Link will be down below. And check out my training app, the One Gen Gym app, at onegenGym.app, launching on Black Friday. See you guys soon, and thanks for watching.
God bless you, everybody. Dios los bendiga a todos. Y pues, gracias. Amigo Larry.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
También a ustedes, muchachos. Y pues,
Oh, that's perfect.
that's perfect.